Mount Everest. At 29,035 feet, it is the world's highest mountain. 90% of climbers who attempt the climb do not make it to the summit. On May 25, 2001, Eric Weinmeier managed to accomplish the grueling and dangerous trek to the world, making history in the process. Why was this such an historic climb? Because Eric is blind. Not only did Eric reach the summit, but every member of the ascent team reached the summit and made it down safely. Eric is an accomplished climber, but being a brilliant climber doesn't ensure safety on Mount Everest, because some of the best alpine climbers in the world have died. In fact, for every 4 people who summit, 1 dies. For every 30 people who even attempt, 1 dies. So why was Eric's team successful when many, much more acclaimed climbers failed or even died in the attempt? Weather on summit day plays a huge part in who reaches the top and who fails. But what became obvious was that this team was successful primarily due to their interpersonal skills, how well they communicated, how well they balanced their strengths and weaknesses, and how well they related to each other under extreme stress. High-altitude climbing has been long considered one of the most technically challenging sports, with a fatality rate that is unparalleled by almost any other sport. The technical skills of Eric's team were not the main factor in its success. The biggest factor was the team's single focus to get Eric to the top. Eric's team was the most successful Everest summit in history. With a sport known for technical expertise, why is Eric's team so unusual? Once again, an Everest expedition gives us an example. Unfortunately, this one is not so inspiring. In May of 1996, 8 lost their lives in the greatest disaster on Mount Everest. Yet it did not stop others from attempting the climb just weeks later, resulting in 4 more deaths. Climbers intent on reaching the top, and those too weak to continue die on the mountain. John Krakauer, a journalist who was part of the ill-fated 96 expedition, wrote an account of the experience. His perspective was that many of the teams that were attempting the climb were unprepared and disjointed, that communication was poor, teamwork non-existent, and that intense competition created ethical issues that led to the disaster. Most of us don't find ourselves faced with situations where the lack of interpersonal communication skills can become a death sentence for our team. But many departments have teams that do work in life and death situations. The correlation is obvious and is a serious concern. It takes more than technical skills to manage the issues that supervisors face in today's world. When questioned about why his team had the most successful summit in history, Eric said, "Before we started, we took the time to build a foundation based on what we all wanted. What happens with a lot of teams is that they don't trust each other. They have hidden agendas, and essentially because of their mistrust and lack of communication, they try to climb the mountain by themselves. A mountain like Everest is too big for one person. You need each other." The challenges we face as an organization are often as overwhelming as the challenges of mountain climbing. Today, we are going to begin to take a look at those challenges and how the decisions we make can have a lasting impact on our employees, the city, and the community where we live.